Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The Jayar Show Podcast, where I get a chance to sit down with a lot of your favorite faith-based artists. And today we're going to kick this all off, this season of interviews, with a guy who I would say is one of my top 5 guys to interview every year because he is hilarious, but he can also preach. I mean, this guy was just born for this. And so you're in for a treat. Today's guest, Mr. Danny Gokey.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's guest, one of my favorites, the legendary, silky, smooth, velvety voice, Danny Gokey.
You held that S out so long, I was like, where's he going with that S?
Super smart.
What's up, brother?
Brother JR.
Brother
J-Rock. Hey, we have a lot to talk about. We purposely wanted to have you in as close to an inauguration day as possible because we know you were there.
Yes.
So we want to get your take on that. So it took us to this month to get you in, but we're going to hit on that in just a little bit. But the other questions I've got for you, Danny, are actually in that golden tube of mystery over there that we're going to fire up right now.
It's going to be fun.
So you are mic'd up. I am mic'd up. There's a GoPro inside of that. Yeah.
Oh, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
what's that noise?
It's going to look like a bouncy castle to you.
Is this like the TBN castle? Thing is like solid gold.
TBN.
You just found that in the archives of TBN.
At TBN, like, hey, do you guys got a daycare on site? Yeah, you're going to love it.
24 karat gold.
That bounce house is laced with 24 karat gold, baby. So inside, we're going to fire up a little wind tunnel.
Am I supposed to go in there?
Yeah, in a second.
Okay.
But all your questions, basically you're choosing your questions.
Yeah,
with
awesome.
whatever you grab. Okay? And it's going to get pretty hot and heavy quick in there.
Okay.
So you're going to reach out, use your pockets. There's even some cash in there.
Okay, so I'm just grabbing what I can.
Yeah. There's cash. The bigger dollar amounts.
There's cash in there?
Yeah, the bigger dollar amounts are fake cash because we're a ministry. So grab yourself some ones.
All right.
There's some Publix coupons.
Bro.
That your wife will love.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So here we go.
Okay, this is better than I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah. What were you thinking?
I don't know. When TBN came to mind, I wasn't sure what to think at this point.
All right, here we go. We ready? We're ready. Okay.
Okay.
We are sitting in front of just a pile of Danny's collectings inside the tube of mystery.
Fake. You guys.
It's not all
No.
fake. Like, just the hundreds are fake.
Oh, all
Yeah.
the hundreds are fake?
Yeah, all the hundreds are fake. There's a real 20 in there, but
you are a ministry.
We are a ministry. Yeah. Actually, none of this came from our listeners. This is all what we pulled together, what we had on us. We'll go through that.
I
But
got nothing.
your question, there might be some money in there,
Okay.
but we did get your questions out of there. So let's go ahead.
Yeah. I saw there was you saw the questions?
Yeah,
All right.
I pulled them out.
That was really fast.
Yeah, it was. Danny, if you were to go off the grid in reality, do you already have a plan of where you'd go?
How do you know I'm not off the grid already?
I don't. That you pulled.
And I came on the grid
This
just to
was
get
your
on this show. Where would I go? I think Alaska.
Onto the grid.
I came
to
onto the
do
grid
this
just
interview.
to be here. I'm getting off the grid after.
This is my first experience with electricity in months.
I'd go to Alaska. I think Alaska is maybe one of the most beautiful states that we have.
But man to man, Danny,
Okay.
there are things in Alaska that I'm a guy and I just have thought about being face to face with a grizzly bear with my children inside a house going, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, come maul me so they can live. Like, there are things that, like, I feel like an eagle could pick us up. That's the kind of stuff.
I know
in
it is.
Alaska.
It's pretty wild in Alaska. I guess I haven't thought about that because grizzlies do freak me out.
Yeah.
I have bear spray.
Do you?
Yeah, I would just.
Do you believe in it?
Oh, I believe in it.
Because somebody sold me on snake spray when I moved here, only to realize this was a money-making thing. When I moved to
I've never
Florida.
heard of snake spray.
Yeah, it's not real. I mean,
Well,
you can buy it. It's
I
just,
actually bear sprayed a snake one time just to see if it worked, and it works.
is it the same stuff?
Yeah, it's like, and the smoke cloud was coming up. I'm coughing too. Me and the snake are both coughing, but I'm like, this is kind of happening together. We're doing this together, and it really happened. He got into my chicken coop. Apparently, it's called like a chicken snake.
Yeah.
And they eat the eggs. It had an egg in its mouth, and I was like, oh my gosh! I freaked
the bear
out.
spray.
I was like, what do I do? I had no idea what to do. I was like, I got bear spray.
Yeah.
I went out there and just a whole can, and it's in our coop. And so then it started coming out, and I'm coughing like crazy. And I was like, wow, this works. And I wasn't even directly in the line. I mean, I got in its eyes. I bear sprayed a spider one time just to see how it worked. It was not bear spray this time, just pepper spray.
Yeah.
It's fun. Pepper spray is fun.
See, you know how people are making these AI scenarios that's like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right now, what's in my head feels AI generated. I'm picturing you and a snake both hacking in front of each other. He's got an egg in his mouth. And both of you are face to face, like not confrontational anymore. You're both just coughing.
Yeah,
like that.
That was.
This feels AI generated. What we're doing right now,
but it really happened. And then I grabbed it with a stick. I found a stick, grabbed it out. It was like dead, and I just took a rock and I started smashing it.
Yeah,
and that was the end of that snake.
Yeah.
And I threw away the eggs that he was on. He was on like a heap of them, and I was like, this is contaminated by Satan himself. And so I threw away the eggs as well.
You're just going for breakfast, Danny.
I know.
Can you imagine if our life was that tough heading to IHOP?
Apparently it was harmless. I found out afterwards that I guess I was the instigator.
We also want the audience to know that Danny did find out later that it was harmless and he should have let it go.
I should have. It truly freaked me out though. Is there any type of good snake? I know people own snakes, and I've seen that's pretty cool, but would I own a snake? No.
No. No.
They seem very untrustworthy.
Yeah. I mean, go back to the garden.
Ayo.
We wanted to have you as close to Inauguration Day as possible because you are one of the only artists we play that actually got to experience being there.
Yeah.
You and Leah Set were there. So let's, before I ask you how it went, I mean, I know how it went. You guys did very well at documenting it with social media.
Ah, you saw that, huh?
Well, we saw Leah Sets. I don't know if I follow you.
Yeah, mine's
we all
mine's
follow
boring.
your wife.
Yeah, she's better. Her stuff is better anyways.
Yeah, you know what I struggle with? I think about this every day since January 20th. I could not spell inauguration to save my life.
Really?
And even right now I'm staring at the red squiggly, and you come to a point where you're just okay with the red squiggly.
Yeah,
like, I know what it is.
See, I'm not okay with the red squigglies, which is why I have the autocorrect on. It just fixes it for me.
Do you think you could do it right here in front of me?
I think I could.
Okay,
I hope so.
I'm staring at. I just correct.
Should I? You want me to spell it right here?
Yeah, I have the right one. I just right clicked it.
INAUG. Dang, this work gets hard.
I mean, you've messed up a while ago.
I did?
Yeah.
INAUG.
No, it is INN.
Oh.
And then no A, it's a U. And
wait, INNU? UA?
In your... Nope.
No, there's no way.
I spelled it wrong again, and it's like, I'm done giving you squigglies. It just let me be wrong.
Hey, Siri, how do you spell inauguration? AUGURATION.
Are
you gaslighting me?
No, I spell things so wrong. It's just bored red squiggling me. It did not correct my horrible.
It just got over it. It's like he is not gonna. What's the point?
Yeah,
what's the point?
It's like I've got better things to do. Did you guys have? I mean, we saw the videos, but who?
Yeah, the reason why I went out there is I was actually brought by an organization that what their whole goal is to have Christianity and Christian policies in the political realm to be influenced by, right? Because what are policy? What is politics? It's simple, just like people coming together and making laws and rules and ordinances, and essentially the small version for people to live by and coming together and live by. So we want, of course, ours to be influenced by Christian values because we know that, God is the creator of heaven and earth, and he wrote a manual called the Bible. Like, for instance, I share it with my kids like this. Like, imagine trying to put a Lego set together and you don't have the manual. It'd be very confusing, very frustrating, and you'd probably lose your mind trying to figure out. Well, we know that God has purpose and everything. So when we influence our politics with Christian values, we realize that we understand the perfection and the order and the design that God put it in. So anyways, that was a little.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Little trail right there. So, anyways, so that's why people when that they know me as a person who's very involved in politics because, policies affect people, and so if they're bad policies, just like my wife's family, her family was exiled out of Cuba. Bad policies affect and hurt people and lost everything. Right? They were going to be killed by the communist government. So, we got brought to sing my patriotic songs that I wrote. So I have a song called My America that I sang there at the inauguration it's called the Christian Inaugural Ball. And then I sang another song called Brave that I wrote as well.
Okay. I think I've played one or two of them over the past year. I forget when that was, but I played a couple of them.
I appreciate that. They're really especially the My America one is for me has very valuable meaning because when I wrote it, I mean now people are I think more excited about politics ever than before.
Yeah.
During that time, or at least Christian policies in politics, during that time, it was very dark when I wrote that song. It was very dark, and we were going down a very interesting path. And
That's it. Yeah, I remember that now because I remember it being it was like you were like this one voice of hope at that moment that was going, hey, I still believe. I still believe, exactly. Yeah.
And that was a line because it's if you believe, what you believe steers the direction of your life, and people started believing the wrong things. Imagine let's make it real simple. If I started believing the wrong things about my wife, it would end up in divorce. Anytime you believe the wrong messages, the enemy has one thing in mind: steal, kill, destroy. And so the goal with that song was like, hey guys, God's not done with America. God had a plan for America.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what he thinks about America. It's obviously not our home forever.
Yeah.
We're supposed to impact it. Heaven's our home, but as long as he has a plan, we must be on that plan and not on the enemy's plan, you know?
Yeah. Let's bounce off that and say, we actually talked about this on the show in January where we were saying, if you became president, I mean, no, it's not. This isn't going where you think it's going. This is more playful. We don't really think about the fact that somebody's moving. It's moving day. You move into a new house for 4 years, new address, new neighbors, all that stuff. If you moved into the White House, what would you do to the place to make it more yours? Just to make it, 4 years is a long time. This is your pad, Would you do anything? Would you change anything?
Maybe the only thing that I would change in the White House, if I were to go in there and move in there, is I would have, you know how like they have IHOP Church that does like 24-hour praise and worship, prayer.
Yeah, sorry.
I would, my only thing is I would put a room in there. And since, it's America, there's a lot of churches.
Yeah.
Have constant in one part there, 24-hour prayer and 24-hour praise and worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, I think so. I think, prayer kind of works sometimes.
Yeah.
If you have faith.
What about personally? Like something at your house? Like
I don't get a choice. My wife would. You're asking the wrong person.
If
my wife allowed me to make any changes,
she would have you submit them on a list.
Oh man! So to make it mine, I'd probably. I love food. I'd probably have a Latino cook.
Yeah.
A cook that represents Indian food, Asian food. I would have all kinds of cooks that represent foods around the world because I absolutely love food.
So the prayer room's 24 hours. Sounds like
the food room is
24-hour kitchen as well.
There'd probably be a studio in there.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm president, I still got to record some bangers to release. Right. I mean, come on. I got policies and hits. Let's go. Put my policies in songs like "Thou shalt not." Have the "Thou shalt not" song or whatever.
When you saw Carrie Underwood leading God Bless America or America the Beautiful?
I know, Jayar. It was kind of unmemorable.
Well,
okay, I'm just joking.
The reason I'm asking you about that,
it was God. I think it's called "God Bless America."
Yeah, classic. Yeah. We all know it, but apparently the music wasn't working. It turned out to be a great moment for Carrie.
Oh, she shined like a bright light.
Yeah, almost like it. It was like
PR'd and everything. Like
the record label was like, "This is gonna be great,"
because it's the whole like she comes in and saves the day. It's perfect.
It was very much she was the hero.
Bottom line, I was jealous. If that's what you're asking,
well,
yes.
No, my question
very jealous.
Here says,
I wanted that part.
Well, my question is, you made the top 5 American Idol. Carrie won American Idol. Oh. You've been
rub it in, bud. Rub it in.
You've been invited to like prayer breakfasts at the White. You've done things at the White House before. Did her label outmaneuver your label is my question.
I think her name outmaneuvered my name. I think her talent. Well, I wouldn't say talent to talent because I could run with her. If I wanted.
Yeah, you could.
Singing. I mean, it's not about that, but she's obviously had a lot more, quote unquote, success than I've had. And why do I say quote unquote? Because obviously, you know, in the spiritual realm, I got some notches on my badge there, but that's not really recognized here on Earth, is it? And she probably does too.
Yeah.
I don't know, JR. Maybe I want to edit this whole part. I think everything I say can be used against me. So, but what did I think? Did I want to sing at the inauguration? Absolutely. Yeah. Was I jealous of her? Not one bit. Yeah. I'm actually happy for her. To be honest, I don't think it's like a me versus her thing. I think there's room for both of us, but would I have wanted that part to sing My America? Yeah, because I think My America is the song for the new generation of patriots.
Every time you come in, your children have aged, gone to different, that's a brilliant statement.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Every time you come in, your children have aged. All right, let's go to a song.
Thoughts?
No, because they're hitting different ages, so the parenting changes.
Ooh,
Last time you were in, it was actually it became a very deep, sensitive moment because the joke was you kept ending up on this little couch in your master bedroom because the kids would come in, and as much as we make fun of that, Leia Sett didn't even hardly have a house growing up, and all her family growing up in, was it Peru or Cuba?
Well, they grew up in Miami, but her mom immigrated from Cuba and her dad immigrated from Peru.
And so it was a big thing to have all the children in the house because it was one room. And so we were making fun of you getting pushed out of the bed to the couch. So let's just put a couch in there. And she's like, no, this is important to me, everybody being one big fan. But now they're aging a little bit, so this is going to have to be a really big bed if everybody's still snuggling as they grow. What's the new challenge for y'all?
There's no more snuggling. We are too big for the bed. Okay. So the couch is actually a couch bed. So now we pull that out, and some come in the bed and some come on the couch. But now my oldest is going to be, he just turned 12.
Okay.
On Inauguration Day.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's the Lord saying he'll be president one day. Dun, dun, dun.
No, wasn't born in... Yes, he was. Sorry. I'm still thinking Cuba, Peru. He's got to be born here, bro.
Dang.
It's all on you, Milwaukee.
He doesn't want to sleep in our room anymore.
Okay, good.
No, he's
a young man.
He's a young man, and he's now in his own room upstairs. Yeah. And it's interesting, like, the independence that's starting to come along. And it's so... Anyways, parenting does change. This year, I just took I assessed like where we are as a family, where we are in my marriage. Because if you don't sit down and assess where you are, you can't really diagnose and see where you could get better, right? So, parenting was one of the things that I wanted to assess, this year, and habits. And so we're changing all that, but it's hard to turn at this age. I wish I'd have caught some of these things when they were younger, and now they all have their own opinions.
Yep.
And so I'm really seeking God's wisdom how to raise my kids, because this world is it's much more difficult place than it was in our generation, because that little phone, that tablet has changed everything. It's brought the entire world and all the world's problems right to everyone's front porch.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we could do a whole show on what that has caused, because I think about that a lot when I look at what I've got 21, 18, and 15, so they're quite a bit ahead of yours. But if I go down the wrong algorithm where I'm like, this is what my kids are? It makes me go straight back to worship. Like, let's fire up worship around the world, because the only thing that kind of counters what they're seeing and the pressures they're seeing every day is the worship of God. Amen. And his greatness, because I don't think Christian culture can save what they're seeing. Only the straight presence of God can save what they're saying, because it's real to them.
Beautiful words.
And
I mean, I couldn't say it any better myself. You're right.
It draws me when I see the filthiness and the pressures they're facing. It draws me to go get yourself in order so that you can, be. I just completely. It sounded in my head was going to be amazing.
It was good until then.
And then
really good.
It's like when they're building those train tracks in the Wild West, and like you were out there and you're chicka, and you reach a point where like, no, we haven't built the rest yet. That's where my brain went, was like, there's no more tracks. I just stopped.
I can relate more than you can think. I hate that. I'll be on my Instagram getting ready to say a point, and then I'm like, delete. I gotta restart thinking. I was like, where was I going with that? I wish I could flow like some of these commentators out there who could just put words together and just all these facts. So yes, I relate. By the way.
Yeah. It's like walking into the pantry to get something. You're standing there going,
What am I doing here?
I'm looking at everything, but
I don't know what I came here for.
I don't even know.
What did I come here for? Going back to what you were saying though, as parents, one of the verses that stuck out to me the most is how a little leaven leavens the whole lump. And we don't realize how a little bit of ideology from the world, a little bit of sin, whatever it is, it is like getting through our whole families and kind of steering them in the wrong direction, steering the kids in the wrong direction. So it's so important. And this is what I kind of think about. But I know God's given us grace. He says if we ask for wisdom, he'll give it to us liberally. And so I ask the Lord for wisdom. Ask the Lord for wisdom. Keep bringing my kids back to the main,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. You just built the rest of the tracks for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I say this one might be easy for you. If we're pulling questions from your stack here of questions you pulled from the tube of mystery over there. If we transported you to 1850 for 1 week, you're 2025 Danny Gokey, all the knowledge you have right now of the world, how phones work, all this stuff, but all of a sudden you're Marty McFly, like in the 1850s. How would your week go? Based on who you are. Leasette's not there to rescue you. You got to find shelter. You got to find food. But you're from 2025.
Right. And think about it. 1850, we are still in the era of possessing the West and exploring the West. Yeah. Relationships with taking land.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot going on in 1850. So I think my first move, and this is also when they would do the draws out in front of and shoot each other over at the saloons. Yeah. And this is real stuff. And so
the saloon's probably where you'd walk in because that's the center of information. The town was there. So anything going on in the town is probably happening in the saloon. So do you go retreat going, what am I doing here? Let me hide. Or are you like, let's go feel it out?
It depends. Cause here's the thing. Like do I get to choose the location or I just get plopped in? And
I don't know.
Cause if I could, I would choose the location, like put me in, the biggest cities, which would be at one point the 13 colonies,
Topeka,
right?
Kansas.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's not owned by us yet. We're apparently, I think there's gonna be some taking away happening there, unfortunately. But I mean, I read a book about like that time. I love history. History is like, man, just fascinating to me. But anyways, the amount of drama that I want to be a big city where there's more established, more rules, more order. Because if I was in the Wild West, man, it's anything goes.
Oh yeah,
and that's scary.
How would you do say you're in that saloon, and somebody bumps you, and he's like outside, 5 minutes. Here's a gun. How would you run?
Yeah,
like you could probably go.
Yeah, if
I can just run around this building, he is not chasing.
There's no way a bullet could catch me, right? That's what I tell myself.
Or would you be like, well, let's do this? And
no, I'd run. I'd use the power. I'd be like. I'd probably sing him a song.
I love how confident you are. No,
hey, check this out. I can sing. You ever heard a voice like this? Check this. I mean, this is a new day.
All of a sudden, he breaks in, and the whole street is like, "This is happening to me."
Danny Gokey changes history books with dueling vocals. Anyways,
dueling vocals.
Yeah.
They have that piano at the saloon, so you're like, "Excuse me, ma'am. I need to save my life. A duel just challenged me to a duel."
Yeah, sure.
And all of a sudden you're just
killing it.
And the whole salon is just...
Dude, and what if the guy trying to...
Salon's a whole nother picture in my head. Salon's a hair cutting. I said
salon. I heard you.
I was saying saloon.
I was ignoring you. I was like, this poor guy doesn't know history.
No, it's not history. It's words.
Words. That too.
Okay, let's go. Talk to me about the new song, Only for a Moment. Where did this come from?
Only for a Moment is a song. We jumped into the studio and we began to dig, and this song started growing, and it started just getting, it took us a few sessions actually, because it wasn't easy, but we started creating the melody and just asking Lord, what do you want us to say? And I love this song because, Only for a Moment, some people need to hear that right now, like in the situation you're in, it's only for a moment. Like if I could encourage anyone, this doesn't last. Weeping may endure for a night. Joy comes in the morning. That's only for a moment, right? Cast your cares on the Lord, for He cares for you. It's when the devil's coming like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. We look at Joseph, we look at Job, we look at Jesus, we look at Moses, we look at the great people of faith, and I bet you Joseph would stand here and say, I was sold by my brothers. It seemed bleak. I was put in prison, taken away from my family, lied on by Potiphar's wife, thrown back in prison, forgotten about by people who I gave prophetic words to, and they came to pass. But God, he did this so that I would save all of Israel. So knowing that the moments they're in are creating a glory that is yet to be revealed on the inside of them, to know that all things are working together for the good. And in the song, we use the metaphor of the seed, because the song starts out, even here there is hope buried in the hurt. Like we're buried in the hurt. Before the bloom of a rose, there's a season in the dirt, right? So when you think about when a seed goes into the ground and it looks dead, dirt is thrown over it. It's momentarily, it looks like this is over, but it's in that buried under the dirt. But something beautiful is on the way. Where you are is not where you're going to stay. It's only for a moment. And I love that because people need encouragement. This is what the whole essence of faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. The idea of faith is like, imagine you're on the street and you're waiting for a city bus. Your faith is like, you're kind of, a few times while you're at the corner, you're looking out because you know that the bus is coming, right? You know that the promise is coming. You know that the better day is coming, that dawn is on its way. But that's what this whole song is, to build faith into the listener so they keep looking for the promise instead of being buried in the pain of the situation. I believe it's going to encourage people. When I wrote it, this doesn't happen with every song. And hear me out. I don't think all my songs are amazing. Yeah. But this one, when I wrote it, I said, there's something special about this one. I remember telling my manager when I sent it to her, I said, there's something on this one. So I'm really glad that we released it.
While we're sitting, I don't think I've had you talk about I Got You.
I Got You. What can I say about that song? That song just resonated with so many people. It's good to know that whatever season, the good, the bad, the ugly, and this is what relationship is all about, that we have the solid rock. We have the friend that sticks closer than a brother. We have Jesus. And I love the sentiment of the song because I can look back over my life and I can just say, because I had you, because I got you, I made it through the storms. I made it through the joy, through the pain, and the waiting, and the sorrows, and the trials, and the breakings. Like, because I had you, it didn't move me. I was shaken, but I wasn't moved, And so that song, and it really went like viral on my social media platforms. I just think because people there's a related sentiment that they feel when they hear that song, a reminder. So I love what it did. I love that it accomplished what we set it out to do.
Awesome. Let's end on this. If Leah Set right now got approached by a publishing company and they said, we love you guys on social media, but we want you to write a book about marriage, what would be the most recent chapter that she wrote on her laptop to submit to the publishing company?
Oh, no. Forgiving on a daily basis. Forgiving and forgetting.
So her struggle with sometimes you're going to need to forgive him on a daily basis. Is that what you're saying?
Probably. I think, me and my wife are really like vocal people, emotional people. We're like two peas in a pod. Yeah. It was interesting when we first got married. I hate to admit this, man, but
this is the show.
She was the logical one. I was the emotional one. Dang, what a failure as a husband. But over the years, I started realizing, like, just being around, I was like, dude, like, you need some logic. But our culture was going that way anyways. There wasn't any logic, right? You kind of just, in a fish tank, you just kind of, or the frog in the pot syndrome. Because social media, whatever that thing is, something happens if you put a frog in a pot. Yeah. Goldfish. Did you say goldfish? Yeah. Social media was going that way, and I didn't realize. But being around my wife, I just love how she was super logical. Mm-hmm. Like, that's illogical, right? Because her dad was super logical. My family tend to be more emotional, and not based in like the like logical, intelligent.
Oh yeah. No, I'm from the same.
Everything was like an argument, and you're hurt, and you're just
kind.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's good, right?
But I actually love that, and so I've actually become really much better at, really gooder at my logic.
Man, if she were
I've
here
become
right now,
gooder at being smarter.
I know the latest chapter she would
my
write.
brain, my noggin works better.
My husband can't talk the English. She's like, and English was my second language.
It was, and she's She's interesting, man. She really wanted to be a lawyer, and at one point she wanted to be a lawyer, and I can see why.
Yeah.
Because man, the girl can argue.
Yeah.
Meaning like she can get her case out, and she can make a great point for that.
Yeah. Sometimes our staff, we get together and we just pray for you. We're like, Danny is somewhere right now that is being told what he did wrong, and it's like somewhere. Let's gather for him.
Let's pray. I can't thank you enough.
But we love her to death. She's the one of the most amazing. Females we've ever met.
She's a special one.
Yeah. I would love to just have everybody go follow you and your wife on Instagram because it is just a fun experience. Leia Set is. Do you want people following your wife on Instagram?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't mind it. I think she's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Because sometimes it's like private. Like you don't want to Google. Who is Danny Gokey's wife? Who knows what could come up?
You're right about that.
So the Leia Set is Leyicet.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, I can't spell inauguration, but I got it.
Leia Set.
And then Danny Gokey on Instagram as well. It's a wonderful experience to watch you and your family and your faith and the wonderful songs that you keep bringing us. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you, JR. Thanks for always having me on. I love being on the show.
Yeah. Don't forget to go through your earnings here. You may have about $3 in here.
Man, those fake $100 bills really got me. I mean, they look so real.
Yeah.
All right, hopefully you enjoyed that today. Danny Gokey, first of a string of interviews that are going to be coming. If you have not subscribed yet to the Jayar Show podcast, I would suggest you do that so you'll be alerted when the next chat is available for you. You can follow along on Instagram. We love it when you tell others about the Jayar Show podcast as well. Till next time, thank you so much for listening. Hear the music.